Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone, and we're here today to discuss this colorist coalition that is the Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm going to do my best to give y'all a decent review, but there are some really deep issues at play. And I have a whole lot of thoughts, feelings, and opinions, and I really don't know where to begin. So we're going to just go ahead and get into the review, and I'm going to just get it off my chest. I'm going to tell you straight up from the gate, I don't know how this review is going to go because I'm pissed off. So let's just get into it. Before we do, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. Of course, I want to shout out my super thanksers. Shout out to Tanya Fuller, Etam Luo Sim 40, Lori, and Yvette Greer. Thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all. So the episode opens up right where they left off last week, which is Mia having a conversation with Peter about coming to his restaurant and some beef that he has with Wendy. Mia is telling us how she knows Peter. She's known Peter for 10 years. He and Gordon are the best of friends, but she's not sure why. But I'm sure sharing women will do that. And she assumes that Peter has some beef with Wendy over money, and she's going to find out exactly what the issue is. Meanwhile, Charisse is looking for better accommodations. Robin is trying to figure out where the rest of the towels are. Then Ashley comes into Giselle and Robin's room to announce that she's being DM'd by some guy she dated eons ago. Girl, please. And she doesn't know how to respond to or feel about all this attention she's been getting since she and Michael have announced their split. Girl, if you want us to know we're going to see you in public with a different man, just do what you do. Robin said, I don't give a damn what's going on in your DMs. What's going on with your address? What's happening with the house hunt? Ashley tells Robin, well, I found a house that I really liked. I put an offer in. They accepted my offer, but the tenants can't move out for months. So she's going to rescind her offer because she would like to be out of the apartment that she and Michael shares by June. Child, okay. And speaking of Michael, things between she and Michael are just getting so contentious lately, and she has no idea why. Ashley can go play in hell. You know exactly why. You're getting a divorce. You're about to try to run off with half the man money. That's why it's contentious. Giselle said, you do know why it's contentious. And Robin said, this is the reality of divorce. Welcome. Wendy is in the room on the phone with Candace trying to prep her for the hell she about to walk into. Now, Mia and her frenemy Jacqueline are in the room that they're sharing, and Mia done took her Build-A-Bear mask off and is letting the real gremlin hang out. She is treating Jacqueline like absolute shit about she didn't bring all her stuff, and she's asking to borrow deodorant, she's asking to borrow this and asking to borrow that. My thing is, why do you need to go out of your way to try to embarrass this woman? I get the feeling that the dynamic between Jacqueline and Mia is that Jacqueline is not necessarily in the same financial position as Mia, and Mia treats her like that. This is your lifelong friend who is a low-key your sister wife who you claim to trust with your children and have willed your husband to, but you want to drag her in front of this group of ladies and a whole TV show about she didn't pack her deodorant and she used Gordon's razor at my house one time. Well, if you have such a problem with the girl and you feel like she's such a leech, why do you with her? Because it gives me the vibe that she keeps her around to have somebody to look down on and treat like shit so she feels better than the shit she is. And Jacqueline needs to get some self-esteem about herself, because there is absolutely no way you sit up and let this girl just treat you like this. We see Mia trying to talk Charisse out of going to get a hotel, but there's 5 bathrooms here, but there's how many women? Charisse finally agreed and said, okay, I'll stay. Karen finally emerges. Shit, I forgot Karen was even there. Her and Wendy sit down to talk about Karen's issue with Charisse. And Karen's real issue with Charisse is that 5 years ago at the reunion, Charisse put it out that Karen supposedly got a blue-eyed boyfriend. Karen says Charisse asked her about going to lunch and she agreed, but she only really meant Starbucks. I'm not trying to sit down and eat nothing nowhere with her. Meanwhile, Ashley is upstairs on the balcony thirst trapping, aka TikToking, and Giselle is downstairs taking notes by, ooh, I see this is how Ashley get all her boys to the yard. Don't you try that shit, Giselle. So all the ladies are getting ready to leave to go to dinner. Mia comes outside and she starts talking to Giselle and Ashley about Jacqueline and how Jacqueline just needs everything. And oh my God, what she's trying to do is bond with these ladies and assert that she is on their level and she's tired of dealing with this friend who's not. So Mia tells them that they're going to bar 1. Ashley said, well, does Wendy know we going to bar one? Because don't Wendy have some business with Peter? Mia said, does she need to know? Ashley said, well, I thought they had a relationship. So she said, I know they have beef. So Giselle pipes up to say that Peter told her that Wendy did her research on Peter in order to be able to reach out to him about going into business together. Now, first of all, I'm trying to figure out how all the housewives know Cynthia ex-husband. How everybody got a personal relationship with him to be having all these personal conversations. So Giselle, of course, starts to explain in the confessional how she knows Peter. Because y'all know she don't mind going behind a girlfriend by the man. She says everybody knows Peter. You know, he's Cynthia Bailey's ex-husband. She met him at the BET Awards some years ago. And she's actually hosted a fundraiser at his restaurant. And word on the street is that you hosting a fundraiser in his bedroom too. Giselle said, yeah. Peter said, yeah, that girl that y'all hang with, he couldn't even remember her name. Well, she's the only one with a doctor in front and a real career behind her name. So it shouldn't be that damn difficult. Giselle said that Peter told her he thought the idea of this Nigerian restaurant was absolutely ludicrous, but he was going to play along. So basically, he's a damn scammer. And he told you that he's going to scam this girl. And being that ain't never had you actually found pleasure and joy in that. So you know this man has no plans to do any real business with her and just wants to take advantage of her financially. And she's the problem. But you know what? That's to be expected of you because you did roll from up under a crooked church pew in hell. So this is just what you do. And then Giselle is in the confessional saying, and you don't even have no money, Wendy. I know you ain't talking with that mismatched, badly decorated Legoland house that you still ain't finished putting together. Girl, you didn't have a house till you got on Real Housewives of Potomac. She was a struggling single mother who was renting a home after she got ousted from her church and her marriage when her husband was serving everybody in the congregation the D and the word. So shut your hating ass up about you ain't got no money, Wendy. Where's yours? When I tell you I would have dragged Giselle to First Lady hell, part of Giselle's other issue is that even if he planned to scam Wendy, Wendy was respectable enough to consider for business, and Giselle is not. Ain't nobody going in business with Giselle but her damn girlfriend Robin. Nobody. And since the only business she seems to know how to get into with the man is secret lover business, you're mad at Wendy. Girl, so Mia, Ashley, and Giselle are standing around laughing about how laughable it is that Wendy would even think Peter wants to do business with her. Mia said all she knows how to sell is candles and all y'all know how to sell is ass. So who's the better pick? So now it's time to go. They all load up into the cars. You have Mia, Karen, Jacqueline, and Wendy in the first car. And Mia brings up Charisse. She starts out by saying she's really excited that Charisse decided to stay and not leave and go to a hotel. And Jacqueline piped up to say, yeah, I agree because I really like Charisse. Mia, knowing her real intent for bringing this conversation up, tries to rope Karen into a bash session by saying, well, you know, I know she's not your favorite person. Karen said, please don't speak for me. Mia said, all right, well, you don't want to participate in the dialogue. I'll do a monologue. So Mia starts going in about Charisse not being willing to share her accommodations and I don't share bathrooms with other women. And girl, get over it. No, everybody didn't grow up in a strip club sharing doorless toilets. Now, meanwhile, Wendy is just in the back seat looking around, taking all this in. Oh, you don't like Charisse? Oh, okay. Oh, you think Karen? Oh, okay. Mia gets around to telling Karen, you know, I was on the fence, but now I'm siding more with you. I really understand why you don't like her. And I really think y'all going to lunch would just be drama. Mia comes out of nowhere and says, well, I mean, she has a bed, so she's doing better than Candace. Jacqueline is in the backseat. Shut up. Karen just said, I'm going to pass out. Why wouldn't y'all tell her there's something wrong with that? Mia literally set this up to segregate the darker women and trap them into a contentious confrontation. She knew exactly what she was doing. So in the other car, Robin is bringing up a conversation from her and Giselle's podcast about when do you let your guard down and use the bathroom in front of your spouse. And Robin was saying that she's surprised that there's a lot of women who are saying they've never done number two in front of their spouse. She said she actually has a girlfriend that has never ever done it. Cherie said, well, you have two because I never did that with my husband around. Robin says she's absolutely shocked. She said she does everything in front of her husband and her kids, including walk around naked all day. Well, that's because you think you one of the damn boys. Put some clothes on. Giselle said, your kids damn near grown and they're boys. You need to put some clothes on. Ashley said, well, my mom did the same thing. Giselle said, but you're a girl. That don't make it no better. So they get to the restaurant, and of course, it's a surprise to Wendy that they're going to bar one. She said, but it's a perfect coincidence that they're going to bar one. And if she sees Peter, she'll say hi, but she has no desire to talk business while she's on vacation. Mia is letting us know that she's been to every opening of her Peter's restaurant. He's the first man outside of her husband to hold her baby after her baby was born. So Robin starts asking, does anybody know when Candace will arrive? Mia is the host, but she don't know and she don't care. So Wendy announces that Candace is going to be landing around 10, and Ashley starts about the air is going to be different. She just has a chip on her shoulder, I don't know. Ashley can go straight to Karen hell. She literally thinks she's entitled to attack people, lie on people, and do any kind of dirt she wants to do. And then when people hold her accountable, throw rocks back at her ass or drag her to hell. Oh my God. How could you? How could you say that? She has a chip on her shoulder. Girl, go to hell. Robin said, no, it ain't just that she has a chip on her shoulder. Y'all have a big issue. And Ashley is playing dumb. What big issue do we have? Robin said the last time y'all saw each other, y'all was yelling at each other about accusations about your husbands. Y'all have a real issue. Ashley says, I just feel like when a mirror is held up to her face, she doesn't like it. And if that makes me vindictive, then so be it. No, you don't get to put your face on a mirror, turn it to somebody else, and then tell them that's their reflection. It don't work like that. You're projecting the very life that you live and the characteristics and transgressions of your husband onto this girl. And you are vindictive. You know you're vindictive, and you're vindictive because you're miserable and you're jealous. Candace actually has an upbringing, options, a husband she chose for love and not need, a mom who has the bag and didn't have to sell her daughter's ass to get the bag. While you over there with the husband your mama sold you to that you can't even keep in the house unless you bring company in y'all bed. Girl, Ashley brought up, well, since we talking about Candace, did anybody else hear something about I said Chris was touching my girlfriend's butt? Wendy said, yeah, somebody did say that. Yes, someone did repeat that. Giselle, old gossiping lying ass. I promise you that was said. Yeah, because your ass said it. And Mia and Giselle are sitting there lying their fully injected faces off about, yeah, that was absolutely said. Yeah. And Robin is sitting her lying ass in the confessional about, yeah, I heard it. Everybody said that. Robin is a liar and the truth ain't in her. It blows my mind because y'all act like y'all don't know y'all are being filmed. We literally watched you ask Karen, was there anything specific said? Karen said no. Giselle was the only one that came to you with that bullshit. And now you sitting in the confessional about, yeah, everybody said it. And in this very moment, I completely understand why Wendy dragged Robin to hell last season. You and Giselle do this good cop, bad cop thing, where Giselle is overtly messy and you are covertly messy. I'm going to play dumb and play like I don't know while you're upholding Giselle and all her bullshit. This moment also made me understand exactly why Juan don't with her. I truly believe that she sabotaged that man and she knew what she was doing when she did it. And at this point in the game, Juan is not going to remarry her because if he knew then what he knows now, he would have never married her in the first place. So Mia's in the confessional saying some dumb shit about, Candace doesn't have that much booty. That might be why Chris is touching other people. No, Candace actually has a beautiful body and a beautiful figure. Now you, with your Mrs. Potato Head ass and all your attachments, you are one to talk. You done went and bought an ass that's growing an ass and you talking shit. Worry about your own lumpy ass. Ashley is saying, I never said that. I never said nothing about him touching her butt. And if I said that, I would own it. Giselle is trying to recruit her into the lie by trying to convince her that that's what you said. I heard you say he touched her butt and her leg. That's what I thought. Ashley said, but I never said that. I said he was leaning on the counter in her face, and I even demonstrated it for y'all. Like, Giselle said, and then he touched her butt, right? And they all start cackling like the whole group of bitter bitches that they are. Giselle, Jamal Bryant was touching everything in the church but you and the hem of his garment. What are you laughing at? Robin, Juan had a whole girlfriend that you knew about and will touch anybody but you. You just the homie he got kids with. So what are you laughing at? Mia, you who got picked up off the strip club floor and have to sit in the corner at your own house and watch your husband screw other women. What are you laughing at? Sharice, you over there laughing, but you pipe down because they already working on your ass. You just don't know it yet. And Jacqueline, shut your flunky ass up with all the girl, please. You a whole sister wife to Daddy G and ain't never been a real wife to your baby daddy. What are you laughing at? Giselle, being the shit starter that she is, changes the subject to Karen and Sharice about, I'm so glad that y'all spoke to each other at the airport. Y'all even smiled at each other. Have y'all spoken to each other since the airport? Karen tried to shut it down. Giselle, just don't start. Sharice took the bait. Sharice said, well, when people say you're coming from a bad place, Karen said, who said you were coming from a bad place? Because girl, ain't nobody talking about you. Sharice says, I don't know, ask Wendy. Wendy said, don't start that shit. She's deflecting. This has nothing to do with me and everything to do with y'all. And of course, Bravo showed the clip of when Sharice and Wendy sat down at the house to talk about what's going on between Sharice and Karen. Wendy is telling Sharice that she had a conversation with Karen and asked Karen how she felt about Sharice coming and that Karen was totally fine with it. Karen said she had no issues. Wendy told Sharice that it was Wendy who posed the question to Karen about whether she thought Sharice was coming from a bad place. Wendy said, you got all this energy for me, but you have none for her, who your actual issue is supposed to be with. Are you scared of her? Mia tries to jump in and shut it down. Wendy said, you don't start with me either, because you were just in the car talking about you understand why Karen don't with Sharice. Sharice sitting there looking like her feelings hurt. Karen is sitting there shaking her head like that didn't happen. Mia flat out lied like the punk bitch she is. I never said that. Girl, Robin is visibly annoyed with Wendy. Well, Mia, what did you say? What did you actually say? Don't let people twist your words. Were you there? Do you know what was said? Do you know what was the lie and what was the truth? Now, just last season, Mia came out the gate lying on Giselle about, yes, she said this and she called you a bitch and she called you that. And y'all had footage proving that Mia is a flat out liar. But now it's don't let anybody twist your words. Girl, shut up. Mia says, well, I'll tell you what I said. What I did say was I felt you were being a little theatrical about the accommodations. Robin said theatrical. She's not being theatrical at all. She does not have any bathroom. Mia tries to reenact Sharice saying that she's not used to these accommodations and she's going to the Four Seasons. Well, that's because she's not. See, Mia's the type of chick who thinks because she ain't never had shit, ain't nobody ever had shit. Sharice was married to a real life NBA coach, okay? So Sharice is acclimated to a lifestyle that you have yet to actually be introduced to. Mia says, I did say that I was leaning more toward Karen because I understand. Sharice is saying, well, what is it that you understand more about her than me? Mia is so absolutely ratchet. I don't even know what she meant when she said, well, she said you asked for a lunch and she didn't respond. And she said she ain't asked you for no lunch. Karen starts the direct conversation with Sharice. And she says, Sharice, you said you wanted to go to lunch and that hasn't happened, but I'm willing to listen to you. You invited me to lunch. I didn't invite you. Girl, what? So amidst the unnecessary shade, Charisse is trying to explain to Karen that the reason she invited her to lunch is because she would like to get to the bottom of what the issue is between them. She basically refuses to address the issue. And Charisse in the confessional says, Karen has been avoiding me since day one. And I think it's because she thinks I know all her secrets. And she's probably right. Karen said, look, you haven't been calling my phone for the last 5 years, Charisse. Charisse said, yeah, I sure haven't. She said, exactly. So why now? Why do you want to be friends now? Charisse didn't seem to have an answer, and Karen just started singing happy birthday to herself. So their food comes out. Peter comes over, and he's greeting all the ladies. He starts with Wendy about, oh, you didn't call me? Wendy said, check your text. He goes over and hugs Giselle, and she, hey, you, and he, hey, beautiful. He gets around to Mia and she does that, hey brother. Yeah, he done knocked that down. So Giselle asked him, well, how's Baltimore? And he said, well, I'll be back there tomorrow. I spend more time there than here. Basically, I'll be in Baltimore when you get back. Wendy pointed out that there's a Nigerian shrimp dish on this menu. Is that new? Peter said, no, it's been on the menu for a while. He's been on the menu for a while. That's a lie. So he tells the ladies enjoy their food and goes on about his evening. And Ashley is quite disappointed. She said she expected a whole blow up from what Mia done told him. So she asked Mia, was he joking about what he told you? Because Mia said, well, he is a jokester, but I'm going to go ask him. Because basically I expected Peter to embarrass Wendy. And now that he hasn't, I'm low-key embarrassed. So Charisse gets up to go to the bathroom and Mia decides to follow because this is her opportunity to go ask Peter what exactly the issue is. So they run into Peter and she's saying, you know, what's the beef? Because you told me y'all had beef. Peter said, I mean, we were just supposed to work on a project together. That's all. So Mia said, well, did you just meet Wendy? And he starts going into all the details about how he was starting this project for a steakhouse in Maryland. Wendy wanted to join the project, so he sent her some paperwork, but he has yet to hear back from her. Charisse said, I'm going to go ahead and step away because this ain't got nothing to do with me. I didn't know this was the kind of conversation you were coming to have. But while we on it, I would like to pick your brain at some other time because I'm thinking about opening a champagne lounge myself. Peter says, well, you're not going to blow me off like Wendy did, right? Charisse said, no, I'm not Wendy. I would never do that. First of all, Peter is unprofessional as none of this was Mia or Charisse's business. It sounds to me like you're mad that you couldn't scam this girl. So now you're sowing seeds of discord in her personal and professional relationships. Peter admits to Mia that he does not know Wendy well. So she said, well, what's the beef then? He says, well, I just feel slighted that she would come into my restaurant in my city and not even call. Who in the Scarface hell do you think you are? Miami? You think it's your city? Peter, you ain't who you think you are in these streets. You need to go sit down. Mia is in the confessional saying Wendy has a contract and she needs to respond to it in a timely manner. And I mean, if you don't have the time, say that. And if you don't have the money, say that. Well, if you were as worried about your own business, you and Gordon wouldn't be being voted out of your family and kicked out of your business. Worry about your own damn contracts. So Mia starts this whole hater conversation with Peter about, you know what I really think it is Wendy don't know what she want to do. Peter said, I mean, she's a professor and she's selling candles and now she want to go into the restaurant industry. It's called diversification. But when all you know how to sell is S, you wouldn't understand that. So while Mia's away from the table, this is the perfect chance to talk about her. Ashley said, well, you know, it took a minute for me and Mia to jail. And Jacqueline said, yeah, I got some shit to get off my chest about this bitch. She said, yeah, Mia can be a bit much when you first meet her. And I try to tell her that. And honestly, you know, I'm friends with her because we've been friends since we were kids. But if I had met her as an adult, would we be friends? I don't know. Exactly. This is a frenemy-ship that is only bound by time. Charisse is kind of surprised. She said, really? She said, yeah, we both have very strong personalities, and I'm probably the only friend she has that doesn't go for her bullshit. So Mia comes back to the table. I'm back. Giselle said, so what was the big conversation about? Oh, you scared she over there trying to take your man. So Mia looks over to Wendy and says, well, earlier I was on a FaceTime call with Peter and I told him who all was coming and he told me that he had beef with you. Wendy said, I don't have beef with men, so I don't know what you're talking about. Mia says, Wendy, don't start it. Wendy said, don't start what? You started this. Mia said, because that's my fucking family. So don't start. Wendy said, what are you trying to do right now? You're doing too much. If he has a beef with me, he can call my husband. Well, he said y'all were doing some type of a project and he sent you the contract and he ain't heard nothing back. So in the confessional, Wendy is making it clear that, yeah, Peter did send me some paperwork to review, not to sign. I responded to him asking to do a site visit that he was supposed to schedule, and I have yet to hear anything back from him. But here he is stirring up all this bullshit. So Mia says to Wendy, well, you would think that you would let him know that you were coming. Girl, what? Just what in the mob ties hell are you talking about? Why do I need to check in with this person because I'm in this city? Wendy said, let him know that I'm coming. Is he my man? What are you talking about? Well, I mean, he's opening up the opportunity for you to learn, study, and be his mentee. And Giselle says, yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah, because that's all you bitches' lifestyle. You know nothing about building yourself outside of chasing a man. Every single woman at this table, the reason they're at this table is because of the men that they married. They have no substance behind their name. Wendy is literally the only one. Wendy said, the only man I let know that I'm coming or going is my husband. Mia said, you need to get past that because there is no family in business. Mia just found out the hard way that there's a whole lot of family in business because didn't family just put you and Gordon out of yours? Wendy said, sweetie, look, maybe you talk to other men like that, but I don't need to. Mia said, of course I do. I talk to men at the boardroom table. I'm the only female, the only black female at the boardroom table. This man picked you up off the strip club floor and sat you at a seat at the boardroom table. You didn't earn or learn your way there. Wendy said, well, I am the only African-American female professor at Johns Hopkins University. I'm also the youngest professor at Johns Hopkins University. So don't say shit to me about being a boss because I already got that on lock. Do you understand that? Mia said, it's business. Why are you talking about your husband? Girl, Wendy said, don't tell me what to do. Maybe you and your husband play like that, but me and mine don't. So Wendy is still going on about, I don't know what you're talking about, but I need to call some guy and tell him I'm coming into town. And Mia's over there. She just doesn't want to hear it. And you know what? Wendy, next thing you know, this ratchet picks up a drink and throws it at me. I'd have beat her. It's taking everything in me to deliver this review in a calm fashion, but I am telling you, I would have beat her. Now, security steps in. Mia is standing up, trying to get in Wendy's face, but she needs to leave the table and leave their dinner, and you not gonna talk about my husband. Wendy said, what are you talking about? Because I didn't say shit about your husband. You're not gonna talk about my husband. Wendy, get up and leave. Wendy got up and said, what is you gonna do if I don't? Robin is over there talking about Wendy is antagonistic and she has her phone out recording Wendy reacting. Okay, Kia, calm down. To a drink being thrown on her and trying to make Wendy the problem. Karen is standing there, but I'm confused. It's my birthday. No one is holding Mia accountable. Not a single soul is saying to Mia, why would you throw a drink at this girl? Not a single soul is saying, you started this argument. Not a single soul. Wendy is telling her, you and your husband go screw whatever men and women y'all like to screw. And what kind of CEO, what kind of a boss sits up and throws drinks at people? Wendy says to Mia, you really thought I was gonna fight you? Robin said, well, you're antagonistic, and if you don't want to fight, you should stop. So, bitch, she's wrong for reacting to this girl throwing a drink at her, but you don't have nothing to say. Robin is a low-down, dirty bitch. Now, Robin done run up in everybody's face. Robin and Giselle went to Ashley's restaurant to confront her and got in her face, threatening to whoop her ass. Robin was ready to fight Monique. Robin started an argument with Wendy at Ashley's TikTok class. You got damn nerve to be calling anybody antagonistic. Wendy said, you throw a drink on me over Peter Thomas. Are you fucking him? I'm quite sure. So here goes Giselle. Now you're making up stuff. No, bitch, you ain't the only one. You thought you were? So Giselle, you don't have nothing to say when the drinks are being thrown, but when Peter's name and Peter's D is being thrown all around, then you got something to say. Now, this entire time, security is restraining Mia. Wendy said, you threw a drink at me over Peter Thomas and not even your husband. You are corny, you crater-faced bitch. Now Mia want to fight, and they're escorting her out of the restaurant. Ashley, surprisingly, is the only one that has the decency to ask Wendy, did she get the drink on you? Are you okay? Wendy said, I mean, she got it on my hair, but my hair is wet and wavy, so I'm good to go. Karen finally says to Robin, please turn that off. No, we ain't gonna have no he said, she said bullshit. We already got it. Y'all already did that. When y'all made up a whole lie about what Ashley said to Karen, we already see who does the he said, she said bullshit. Ashley said to the table, let's be very clear. She absolutely threw shots when she threw that drink, because if somebody threw a drink at me, it was going down. Giselle said, well, Karen, how did the drink miss you? Because God loves me, so you don't love Wendy? So they're all sitting there laughing in Wendy's face. Mia is outside with her girlfriend, Jacqueline, but how she's so livid. She's in the confessional lying and making excuses about, I'm pissed because you can come for me, but don't come for my husband. Girl, you and your husband. Mia is making her way back to the table. Robin is at the table telling Wendy, well, I'm not saying she was right for throwing the drink, but you kept antagonizing and talking and talking and talking. You wouldn't stop talking. So what is she supposed to do? Just shut up and let y'all disrespect her, talk to her any kind of way? What is she supposed to do? Wendy said, let me throw this drink on you and see how you feel. She said, you're not doing that. So it's okay to do it to Wendy, but it ain't okay to do it to you. Why? So she sits down at the table, and you know Karen with her middle of the road self that don't never really stand for nothing. Well, you do know that throwing a drink is not cool, right? Mia said, Karen, she was talking about my husband. I heard her. Well, I heard the both of y'all. Mia said, and you're defending her? Mia starts crying about how up it is that Karen is defending Wendy. Giselle jumps in to tell Karen, you're humping, you're on the fence. Basically, take me aside. Karen said, I'll keep riding the fence because two wrongs don't make a right. Giselle said, no, be a friend to somebody. Karen said, I'm a friend to everybody, including your raggedy ass. So Mia is back to putting her finger in Wendy's face, reaching over Karen, talking to Wendy. Wendy got up and said, put your hand in my face one more time and I'm gonna whoop your ass because I let you slide with that drink. Now security is trying to hold her and she's damn near running through them. So when Wendy goes to push through security, she hits Karen's chair. Karen, oh my God, did I get hit? Did I get hit? Robin got her camera back out. Yeah, you did get hit. Now, the same security guy who was trying to hold Mia is trying to hold Wendy. And he's saying to Wendy, don't let them upset you like this. You're better than this. Now, he ain't said none of that shit to Mia because y'all are not the same. Mia's at the table. Yeah, kick her ass out and ghetto ass. Bitch, you were the one just throwing drinks. Jacqueline said, y'all were just fine in the car. What happened? Mia said she got called out. That's what happened. Anytime you call her out on her shit or say some shit that's true, she gets upset. No, bitch, that would be you. So since Mia on the other end of the table talking about her, Wendy is at her end talking about Mia. Crater face over here said, Mia said, Wendy, you got one more time. Wendy said, what kind of throws a drink on a woman over another man? Mia said, no, I threw the drink on you because of the stuff that was coming out of your mouth. Wendy said, but I didn't say shit before you threw that drink. So as Mia is continuing her lie, Wendy said, shut up. I don't have nothing to say to you. Wendy said, do you want to throw another drink? Somebody said, please, not again. And Giselle looks at Mia and says, well, hey. Wendy said, you're a CEO and a boss, but you throw drinks on another woman. Robin is in the corner, but she's so antagonistic. Mia jumps up again. Wendy said, are you going to throw another drink? Is that why you jumping up? Giselle, well, she might. Wendy told her, you just embarrassed yourself, your business, and everything you stand for. Now Mia is upset because she gets upset when she's called out on her truth and her insecurities. So now she's mad and she's jumping at Wendy, trying to throw something at her again. As she's jumping around and having to be restrained, Wendy said, look at the CEO. Look at how the CEO is acting. So Mia is again being escorted out. Wendy is still yelling and they're all telling Wendy to calm down and stop. And it's gone too far and this is embarrassing. So y'all weren't embarrassed when Mia was doing all the shit she did, but you're embarrassed at Wendy defending herself. Every one of y'all is full of shit. So Wendy is at the table yelling, "You gotta control your temper." Robin said, "Stop antagonizing. You antagonize to the utmost." Wendy said, "No, I use my words." Now, if she chooses to throw things and throw drinks in her purse, it's on her that she's violent. Mia is outside calling Gordon about find her a flight because she's sick of this. Yeah, because you can't book one on your own. So now Robin is angry at Wendy. And she jumps up. "Everybody, she wins. She's right. You win, Wendy." So y'all ain't embarrassed? Not a single soul said, "That's too much. This is embarrassing. You've gone too far. Stop, Robin." Nobody. Next thing you know, Robin stomps outside and finds Mia. "No, you're not leaving. You can't leave." And all of a sudden, Mia is the victim. She shows Robin her hands, "But I'm leaving. Do you see my nails?" And her nails are broken, like she's been fighting in the street. Robin said, "Oh my God. Yeah, that's what happens when you fight in the street." Giselle comes outside and she hears Mia talking about she's leaving. And she said, "Well, if you're leaving, we're all leaving because this is your trip and nobody named Mia is leaving." So now Robin and Giselle are telling Mia that she was baited by Wendy. "You did exactly what she wanted you to do." Well, she couldn't have been baited if she didn't come with the bait. So Mia's in the car calling Gordon and she's telling him, "Look at my nails. And yeah, she was saying that you sleep with other men and women." Jacqueline said, "And she said you sleeping with Peter." Gordon's on the phone. "That's laughable." "No, it's not. No, it's not. It's actually a very reasonable conclusion." Karen asked her at the table, "So all the insults that you were hurling about her husband, well, do you know any of that stuff that you said to be true?" Wendy said, "I don't know it to be true. I said it because I was angry, but there is a rumor about them. And a rumor ain't even necessary. We sat and heard Mia say for herself that they have an arrangement and an agreement where they bring other people into their marriage. And she has had to sit and watch Gordon have intercourse with other women, and she is not even involved in the process. So it don't take rumors to determine that, yeah, they got a whole bunch of swinger shit going on." And I don't know why Karen is shocked, because I'm pretty sure it's Gordon she's talking about when she talked about some husband squeezed her and pushed her breast into her back, because that happened when they went on that trip the last time. Ashley said to Wendy, "Listen, I really like Mia, but I don't like that." Wendy said, "What is that?" She said, "The physicality." Wendy said, "Well, I don't like it either." So Giselle comes back up and Ashley says to them, "Listen, y'all know Mia is my girl, but that was not right." So Ashley said, "Well, how is Mia doing?" Giselle said she's not good, and rightly so. And so she's going to figure out her next couple of days. Wendy immediately got up and they said, "Well, Wendy, where are you going?" Wendy said, "I'm not going to sit here and listen to Mia empathizers. I'm not going to sit here and listen to y'all justify violence against me by Mia. But when Monique did it to Candace last season, Giselle claimed to be against it. I'm not about to sit here and listen to a bunch of damn hypocrites." And Ashley is rolling her eyes. "Yeah, because you was mixed up in that bullshit too with your false statement right now." And the episode comes to an end with Wendy saying, "If I'm in that house, I'm beating the shit out of her." And I understand. Now, I know we ain't supposed to condone violence, but this is some utter bullshit. This episode of the show left me fighting mad and fighting tears. How funny is it that Giselle did have an issue with violence when it was coming from a darker skinned woman like Monique, but you make excuses for violence when it's coming from a lighter skinned woman like Mia? There's a colorist culture on this show, and every single woman that was at that table is complicit. Every single one of them participates because it benefits them. And then they pretend to be stupid. The colorism amongst these women is glaring. It blows my mind that as black women with black daughters, you would participate in this bullshit. It blows my mind that you think you're better because you're lighter. That was the whole accommodations thing. That's why the 3 brown girls are the ones with shitty accommodations. These women are literally the tools of Willie Lynch that keep our division alive. I'm a black woman, born to a dark-skinned black woman. I have a dark-skinned sister. Watching how they treated Wendy is like watching them do this to my mother, watching them do this to my sister, and I'm angry. I literally cannot believe what I just watched. And as a black woman, I am disgusted. I am embarrassed. I am hurt. I really thought I had given myself enough time to process my feelings and gather my thoughts and be able to fully express them. But the more I try to talk about how I feel, the more I feel how I feel, the angrier I get. And I'm angry to the point of tears. So I tried, but apparently I need a minute. Now, I got a whole lot more. But for right now, that's it and that's all. I really appreciate you coming down here listening to me and letting me get this off my chest. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, I love you and I mean it. Bye.